Hi class, today we're going to talk about absolute value equations, solving absolute value equations. We'll start off with our standardized test practice problem. And in this problem what we have is the formula for the surface area of a right circular cone is S equals pi RL plus pi R squared, where R is the radius length of the base and L is the lateral height. What is the approximate lateral height of a right circular cone with a surface area of 184.4 square inches and a radius of 5 inches? So what we're going to do first is we're going to solve the formula for L. So in order to do that, we will start off by subtracting pi r squared from both sides. That will give us S minus pi r squared equals pi r L. And if we want to solve for L, since we're multiplying by pi and r, we can divide both sides by pi r. Pi r, which will cancel out. And we will see that our answer is B. Now we're going to use our answer to find the approximate lateral height of a right circular cone with a surface area of 184.4 square inches and a radius of 5 inches. We will use 3.14 for pi. So we will set this up as L equals 184.4 minus 3.14 times 5 squared divided by 3.14 times 5. And if you punch that into the calculator, you get approximately 6.75. So our lateral height is 7 inches. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the absolute value. Absolute value of a number is its distance from 0 on a number line. Here's the symbol that's used to represent absolute value of the number x. The absolute value of any number or term is positive. So the absolute value of x is x. The absolute value of negative x is x. However, the opposite of the absolute value of negative x is negative x. The absolute value is x, but then we're taking the opposite of that. So we're going to start with just looking at a couple of examples that are pretty well worked out for us. We're going to solve or evaluate this expression, the absolute value of negative 4 minus the absolute value of negative 2x if x is 6. So you can see that what we're doing is we're inserting a 6 right into the second part for x. That will give us, when we multiply a negative 2 and 6, that gives us a negative 12. The absolute value of negative 12 is 12. The absolute value of negative 4 is 4. 4 minus 12 is negative 8. The second one is done all the way for us until we get to the very end. So you see you're inputting a negative 4 for x and a 3 for y. The absolute value of negative 17 is 17. So now we're going to try a few of these. We're going to insert a negative 4 for w, a 2 for x, a 1/2 for y, and a negative 6 for z. So we'll start with 6 plus a negative 6, the absolute value of, minus, I'm going to go ahead and get the absolute value of negative 7, which is 7. 6 plus a negative 6 is 0. 0 minus 7 is negative 7. For the second problem, we will have 3 times the absolute value of negative 4 times 2 plus 1/4 the absolute value of 4 times 2 plus 8 times 1/2. So this will give us 3 times the absolute value of negative 8 plus 1/4 times the absolute value of 8 plus 4. The absolute value of negative 8 is 8, so we will have 3 times 8 plus 1/4 times the absolute value of 8 plus 4, which is 12. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1/4 of 12, which is 3. So our answer will be 27. For the third problem, we have z times the absolute value of z. So that would be negative 6 times the absolute value of negative 6 plus 2 times the absolute value of 2. So this will be negative 6 times 6, because the absolute value of negative 6 is 6, plus 2 times 2, the absolute value of 2 is 2. We'll have negative 36 plus 4, which will give us a negative 32. For any real numbers a and b, where b is greater than or equal to 0, if the absolute value of a equals b, then a equals b or negative b. That will make more sense once we plug them in to the problems. Always check your answer by substituting them into the original equation. Sometimes computed solutions are not actual solutions. These are called extraneous. So here is how we go about solving absolute value equations. It's saying that the absolute value of n minus 4 is equal to 13. So what is in here can be set equal to 13 or negative 13 since they both have an absolute value of 13. So we work the equation twice. We add 4 to both sides. And we get that n is equal to 17. We add 4 to both sides. We get n is equal to -9. And then what we do is we substitute in a 17 and a -9. 17 minus 14 is equal to 13. Is the absolute value of 13 equal to 13? Yes, it is. -9 minus 4 is -13. Is the absolute value to -13 13? And yes, it is. So our solutions are 17 and -9. For example 4, we're going to also set this up with two equations. We will have 2x minus 3 equals 17, and 2x minus 3 equals -17. We will add 3 to both sides. 2x is equal to 20. Divide by 2. X is equal to 10. On the second equation, add 3 to both sides. (2x) equals -14. Divide both sides by 2. And we get x is equal to -7. So we're going to check 10 and -7 in our equations. 2 times 10 is 20. 20 minus 3 is 17. The absolute value of 17 is 17. 2 times -7 is -14. -14 minus 3 is -17. The absolute value of -17 is 17. So our solutions are 10 and -7. For number 5, we can't say that the absolute value is a negative number. So there, if you have a problem like this, where it says the absolute value equals something negative, there are no solutions because the absolute value is always positive. For example number 6, our first step is going to be to isolate the absolute value, meaning we're going to divide both sides by -6. And when we do that, our left side will be the absolute value of 4 minus 2y equals 2. Now we break it apart. 4 minus 2y can equal 2. 4 minus 2y can equal -2. So we take away 4 from both sides. And we have negative 2y is equal to negative 2. Divide by negative 2. Y is equal to 1. On the second one, subtract 4 from both sides again. We will have negative 2y is equal to negative 6. Divide by negative 2. We will have that y is equal to 3. So we will test a 1 and a 3 in our equation. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. Negative 6 times the absolute value of 2, which is negative 6 times 2. Excuse me, I should have just written it right here. Negative 12 equals negative 12. So that one checks. On the second one, we plug in a 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. Negative 6 times the absolute value of negative 2, which is 2. Whoops, I did it again. Plug it in right here. Negative 12 equals negative 12. So this one also checks. Our solutions would be 1 and 3. Okay, on practice example number 7, the first thing we want to do again is isolate the variable. So we see this minus 6 that's outside of the absolute value and away from it. We're going to add 6 to both sides. That will give us negative 2 times the absolute value of 7 minus 3y equals negative 8. Divide both sides by negative 2. We'll have the absolute value of 7 minus 3y is equal to 4. Break it apart. 7 minus 3y equals 4. 7 minus 3y equals negative 4. So we're going to subtract 7 from both sides. Negative 3y equals negative 3. Divide by negative 3. Y is 1. Again, subtract 7 from both sides. We'll have negative 3y equals negative 11. Divide both sides by negative 3. And we will have that y equals 11 thirds. So we're going to test 1 and 11 thirds. So 3 times 1 gives us 3. 7 minus 3 gives us 4. The absolute value of 4 is 4. Negative 8 minus 6 does equal negative 14. On this one, 3 times 1/3 would give us 11 because the 3's would cancel. 7 minus 11 is negative 4. The absolute value of negative 4 is 4. Negative 8 minus 6 equals or here, sorry, negative 8 minus 6 equals negative 14. So both solutions work, 1 and 11/3. Don't forget to do the what did you learn for 5 points of your total daily grade, and I hope each of you has a great day.